In today's earwax removal video, we're going to show you how to remove both sets of earwax from our patients' ear canals. Hi everyone, my name is Rhys Barber. I'm the audiologist here at Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching that earwax removal compilation video today. So you can see we've got two patients. This first patient here you can see is a very deep piece of wax. Now we've got this very deep set piece at the bottom, and this piece is sitting just at the top there, which is just sliding forwards a little bit more towards the outer part of the ear canal. Now before we can remove that deeper section, we've got to remove this top section first of all, because it's anchoring everything into place. So we've got the standard size ulnar tube in here at the moment, and I'm just slowly peeling this wax. Now you can see just how sticky this wax has become. As wax gets a little bit older, it tends to become sticky, and then it becomes dry, and then it becomes hard. So it kind of follows that path. And in this case, the wax is just a little tiny bit older. So we've got this very sticky wax that's adhering really well to the ear canal walls. So you can see what I'm doing here is just peeling down away from the roof of the ear canal here, just taking all the wax down and away. What that's doing is breaking these smaller pieces away at the moment. Because this wax is very thin at this top section, as you're pulling it away, it sort of detaches from the wax behind and does break these tiny little pieces off. So we can see working slowly down the ear canal here. We're hitting a little bit of a harder type wax. You can see just by the way it moved, as soon as we put the suction on there, rather than just the front end of the wax just moving a little bit, it was the whole block of wax that was actually moving behind it. So I'm just teasing this down. The reason I'm going nice and gently is this wax has actually been impacted against the eardrum. Now normally wax isn't found this deep. You would have to have had it sort of pushed down in there, and that may have been from a Q-tip use. You know, people put all sorts of things in their ears, guys, believe me, and it just pushes all the wax much deeper in. It's actually pushed it right down on top of the eardrum. So to make this a little bit easier for us, I've popped a bit, well not a bit, but quite a bit of olive oil in here. And the reason we're doing that, it takes the sticky nature out of the wax. It makes it a little bit easier to remove, and because it's much deeper and sitting pretty much on top of the eardrum, we'd want that wax to move away really easily. If it's sticking to the drum behind, as we pull, it's going to put pressure on the eardrum. It's going to pull the eardrum as well, so we've got to be really careful here. So I've just popped the olive oil there. I've just taken away some of the excess, because otherwise it moves around in the ear canal with the air movement from the suction and goes all over the camera. And we're working on this top section, just drawing this down. You can see we're pulling down and away, so we're just dropping it and removing that chunk of wax there at the top of the ear canal. Now we've got this more central section. Now we've got to that deeper section we were looking at first of all. So we're going to very gently here just drop the suction on top of the wax. We're not pushing into it, we're just dropping on top. That way then we're removing all the looser sections, and if it does bind together really well, we've got a better chance of this whole thing coming out as one large piece rather than lots of little bits all breaking away. And we can see that movement there to the top. See how it's starting to fold, just kind of come down from the top of the ear canal wall. So now we're going to work to the bottom. Let's see if we can loosen the bottom as well. Yep, there was a little bit of movement there, so we're back to the top. So this is what I've talked before about getting a large piece of wax out the ear canal. We kind of walk it down the canal, we move it a little bit, move it again. That's what I'm doing here. You can see I'm alternating between moving from the top section to the bottom section. The reason I'm concentrating on our bottom section is there's probably a lot down in the recess there, and if we can lift the whole thing, it's going to make our job a lot easier. What we don't want to happen here, or the worst case scenario for us here, would be if that wax broke away and left a piece down in the recess. When it's this sticky, it's always going to be a real difficult job to get that last little bit out. You can see I've just very gently just dropping onto the wax, holding the suction there just for a second or two. That allows the suction to build within the tube, and that's going to hold onto the wax. It's going to grip it really well, and then we've got a better chance of sliding this out. Now we can just see some of that deeper wax. The surface layer of that wax is starting to come away. Now I can see the eardrum now going from the top across to the left hand side. So now we need to get this last little bit out. I'm concentrating on that recess. It's not ready to budge yet. Let's move from, there we go, sorry, let's go back in. We're going to move to a slightly different section now. So we've got the slightly bigger tube in here. Let's drop back down on top of this wax. Can we get a grip? Can we hold the whole thing and pull this out of the recess? This is all about slow movements here, guys. If you want to get this out, you've got to be really slow in every movement you make. But if you move too quick, it's just going to break that surface wax off. It's not got enough structure to it to hold the whole thing together. alternating again between top and bottom. You can see. There we are. Now we can look, we can see it starting to pull across there. It's coming away. Let's go back in now. Let's try and lift it. Is it going to move? It's still kind of holding on for dear life in here at the moment. This is one of the reasons we say, you know, when you don't put anything in your ears. I know I bang this drum a lot, guys, but it's really worth banging, I promise you. It's because of things like this happen. If you get the wax really deep, don't forget, wax always wants to come out. It doesn't want to stay in the ear. It's naturally designed. Oh, sorry, there we go. Out that can, we could just got that lift. There's that slow movement I was telling you about. It tends to draw the wax with it. All of it comes away in one go. Whereas if you did that very quickly, you'd shear that top section away. There we go. That's what we wanted to see. I just got a couple of little dots there to clear up. Yeah, sorry, I was talking about putting things in your ears. Wax wants to come out. It's naturally, it's designed to work its way out to the ear canal. It doesn't want to be pushed further in. And when people are putting things in their ears, cotton buds, Q-tips, oh my goodness, what else have I heard? Hair grips, nails, screws, ends of glasses. People put all sorts of stuff in their ears. It's pushing everything further in, right down on top of that eardrum. And we can get the wax out, but it doesn't need to be this difficult, and you do run the risk of doing yourself some serious damage as well. So this is what we removed. Got 1.5 centimeters, 3/4 of an inch there, guys, or 11/16 of an inch. If you want to be super duper precise. But you can see it looks much healthier with that removed, but that very sticky type wax you can see sticking on that paper towel there. So this is the second patient now compilation. Now what we've got here, it's a very hairy outer part of the ear canal. Now this isn't cilia. These are the little hairs that everyone gets just on the outer part of the ear by there, and they're all crisscrossing over one another. So they're sitting like a little net just in front. We're going to start to remove this. Now we're going to have to keep the camera, the endoscope, just behind those hairs for the time being, because the wax goes all the way to the outside part of the ear canal here. So we're going to need to remove this very outer section first, and then we can drop the camera further in. There's a little gap just at the top there. The wax is a little bit harder. It didn't really want to budge with the suction. So let's go in, drop the Jobson horn in here, just behind that front section. And when you look at that, you can see that the wax didn't come out. It's not hard as in it's solid, but it's more sort of this thick, sticky, almost bordering on this clay type earwax we've seen before. And we know that because when we pulled the Jobson horn through, it didn't pull a plug out. It just folded it out. And you'll see, there we go. Look at that coming away now. That's the top section. You can see that bottom section there is a little bit harder, it's a little bit tougher. So as we're pulling this top section, that bottom section is staying really well attached. So instead of pulling the plug, it's just sort of almost scoop the top section and stretch it over. When you see somebody sort of pulling sweets or toffee or something like that, that's the kind of thing that's happening here. But we've got that section. Now, there we go. Whoops. See, it's so sticky, it doesn't want to come out. It's kind of holding on for dear life on the way down, but it's come away really nicely, that bit. We've still got that bottom section though, but now I can drop in a little bit further with the endoscope. We can see the ear canal looking clear just behind there. We just need to get this bottom really sticky section away here. There we go, we managed to break that away. So that's that whole front section you could see. There you go, you can actually see how it's stretched out there. So that whole front section's come away. Now we can drop in a little bit further. Well, let's just tidy this bit up first of all. Let's get rid of these few pieces here. There we go. We're going to scoop that bit. Out that comes. And let's take a look behind that. A tiny little bit there, just to the left-hand side. Let's just scoop that away, because I know what's going to happen otherwise. As soon as we put the endoscope in, it's going to crash straight into that bit. You won't be able to see a thing. There we go. Lovely looking eardrum there. That looks nice and healthy. All looking good. So this is what we removed. You can see a fair old amount was packed in this. That's 3 centimeters, 1.25 inches there, guys. So a fair old amount of wax. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did voicing it over. If you do have any questions or comments, please put them into the comment section below. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. If you really liked the video, you can always subscribe to the channel or share it with your friends. So I shall see you for the next video, guys. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye, everyone.